day. You can see them from the harbor far away, blue and silent and unchanging at the edge of the day. They were there before the boats came, and they'll be there after. They hold the island's secret in the morning mist and laughter. My uncle made it to the peak when he was 30 reach. Said the whole of everything below looked green and true. Blue mountains rising in the morning haze, blue mountain rising through my waking days, blue mountain rising since before my name, blue mountain rising, always just the same. Now coffee grows up there in the cool between the trees, picked by steady hands and carried down by degrees. People who live up there between the ridge and sky have a different kind of patience in the way they say goodbye, like they know the mountain will outlast whatever leaves. And the truth is in the slow and sure in what the peak believes. Blue mountains rising in the morning haze, blue mountains rising through my waking days, blue mountains rising since before my name, blue mountains rising, always just the same. Come the storm and come the wind and come the rain, the mountains take it all and rise again. That is the lesson that the old land teaches clear. Stand your ground and you will still be here. Blue mountains rising in the morning haze, blue mountains rising through my waking days, blue mountains rising since before my name, blue mountains rising, always just the same. Before the pipe came to the village in the summer of my youth, we carry water up the hill and nobody eschews it. The truth that the well belonged to everyone who needed and came, rich man, poor man, child, and elder or right the same. The well gives water to whoever drops the rope. The well gives water to whoever drops the rope. The well gives water to the ones who've given up on hope. The well lacks nothing but that you come with empty hands. The well is the oldest thing that anyone understands. I remember waiting in the line behind the deacon's wife. Her bucket painted blue, the color of a different life. She let my mother go ahead cause the child was tired and small. And in that queue beside the water I first learned the call to see the person standing next to you and know their weight. That is the lesson learned beside the water at the gate. The well gives water to whoever drops the rope. The well gives water to the ones who've given up on hope. The well lacks nothing but that you come with empty hands. The well is the oldest thing that anyone understands. Somewhere in the city there's a pipe for every room, but something in the easy water leaves a kind of bloom. I miss the waiting and the weight of the walk back. I miss the way the shared thirst kept us on the track. The well gives water to whoever drops the rope. The well gives water to the ones who've given up on hope. The well lacks nothing but that you come with empty hands. The well is the oldest thing that anyone understands. The road turns pink and purple as the sun goes behind the hill. The cattle know the hour now, walk on cool and still. A boy on a bicycle rings his bell and no one on the lane. The fireflies are practicing for when the dark comes with its rain. Country road at dusk, nobody's in a rush. Country road at dusk, everything is best part of the day. Country road at dusk before it fades away. The old woman at the gate calls to the ones who pass, asking after somebody's mother, asking after the class. The kind of road where news travels without a screen, where the whole mile knows what the families mean. I drove this road for 15 years before I moved away. Now I drive it once a year, and every time I stay a little longer than I planned, cause at dusk you're doing something right. Something about the way it falls between. Country road at dusk, nobody's in a rush. Country road at dusk, everything is lush. Country road at dusk, the best part of the day. Country road at dusk, before it fades away. City roads don't do this thing at 5 o'clock. They don't soften and they don't unlock that gentleness that comes before the evening star. Does country road remember what we are? Country road at dusk, nobody's in a rush. Country road at dusk, everything is lush. Country road at dusk, the best part of the day. Country road at dusk, before it fades away. This scotch binding by the kitchen door in a clay pot. Watched it take its time and then explode with what it's got. 10 peppers on a single plant and more coming every week. The kind of orange red that makes your eyes begin to leap. Pepper tree, giving what it has. Pepper tree, making life have jazz. Pepper tree, fire in the everyday. Pepper tree drives the dull away. My neighbor said she'd take a cut and I broke one off with care. She brought it home and set it by her window in the air. By December hers are grown to twice the size of mine. She brought me peppers in a bag as though it were a sign that what you give comes back to you in ways you didn't plan. The pepper tree and the neighbor taught me all it can. The pepper tree giving what it has. Pepper tree making life have jazz. Pepper tree fighting the everyday. Pepper tree drives the dull away. Some plants are for beauty and some plants are for shade, but the pepper tree is proof that fire can be homemade. A small clay pot, a little patience and the sun, and you've got all the heat you need for everyone. A pepper tree giving what it has. Pepper tree making life have jazz. Pepper tree fire in the everyday. Pepper tree drives the dull away. Grew up watching my father turn a plank of wood to something true. Measure twice and cut it once, that's all that he knew to do. The smell of sawdust in the morning and the plane across the grain, and the satisfaction in the finished thing that nothing can explain. The carpenter's son, learning from the hand. The carpenter's son, beginning to understand. The carpenter's son, wood and nail and saw. The carpenter's son, this is deeper than a law. He never spoke much while he worked, but his hands were always saying something about patience and precision, and about staying in the problem until the problem had a solution in the wood. Never forced to join, he said when it fits right, it's understood. I took a different road and never built a thing with lumber, but the way he taught me how to work, I carry my number. The carpenter's son, learning from the hand. The carpenter's son, beginning to understand. The carpenter's son, wood and nail and saw. The carpenter's son, this is deeper than a law. tools are the principle is the same. Measure, understand the material, and give your best to the claim. Never rush a thing that needs to set and hold. That's the carpenter's lesson. That's the knowledge of the old. The carpenter's son, learning from the hand. The carpenter's son, beginning to understand. The carpenter's son, wood and nail and salt. The carpenter's son, this is deeper than a law. You can read a neighborhood by what the fences said. Ours was made of zinc, nailed up in a hopeful way. My father cut his hand on it and cursed and kept on going. He said a fence that hurts you a little is a fence worth knowing. Zinc fence round the yard, telling what we own. Zinc fence in the sun, making something from the bone. Zinc fence in the rain, singing us to sleep. Zinc fence and the secrets that we keep. A boy next door put flowers in the gap between the sheets. His mother found them and pulled them out into the streets. But every Saturday he came and put them back again. 6 weeks of that before she left the flowers in the rain. On our side of the fence we painted ours one coat of red. My sister said it looked like love. My father said it looked like red. Zinc fence round the yard, telling what we own. Zinc fence in the sun, making something from the bone. Zinc fence in the rain, singing us to sleep. Zinc fence and the secrets that we keep. Inside the fence, the world was ours and ours alone. A stage for everything that makes our house a home. What looked like poverty from the road outside was just a people building what they felt inside. Zinc fence round the yard, telling what we own. Zinc fence in the sun, making something from the bone. Zinc fence in the rain, singing us to sleep. Zinc fence and the secrets that we keep. After 3 days of the rain, the river turned the color of the earth, and everything upstream came with it, and you could feel the worth of all the soil it carried down from the hillside to the sea. Was everything we planted, and the season running free. Brown river running, carrying it all. Brown river running, answering the call. Brown river running, thick with what it knows. Brown river running where the water goes. Dabbing a stick on the bridge and watch the things go past. A plastic chair, a section of corrugated iron going fast. A school notebook spinning open in the current like a sign of all the ordinary things that vanish from the line. The flood is not a judgment, just the land remembering that the water owns the valley, and we're just borrowing. Brown river running, carrying it all. Brown river running, answering the call. Brown river running, thick with what it knows. Brown river running where the water goes. When it clears the river, we'll be quiet and still again, and the valley will be softer from the weight of all the rain. Plant again and build again, and call it what it is. The river takes and gives, and all of this is how it lives. Brown river running, carrying it all. Brown river running, answering the call. Brown river running, thick with what it knows. Brown river running where the water goes. half a mile. Can tell from how it's just the kind of night to see it in a while. A loaded vessel low and slow means something good was done. An empty boat riding high means you fought enough, see you won. Fisherman's return, the whole shore stands and waits. Fisherman's return, and what the sea creates. Fisherman's return, every catch is grace. Fisherman's return, coming to the place. Born and slipped a twin. She's been here in forever every morning since they married in the spring. Rain or calm, she's standing at the water with the same quiet thing. He said once he could see her from a distance in the dark. Said a yellow dress was all he needed as a landmark. 20 years of mornings on that shore and going strong. The sea takes many things, but not what two people belong. Fisherman's return, the whole shore stands and waits. Fisherman's return, and what the sea creates. Fisherman's return, every catch is grace. Fisherman's return, coming to the place. Between the going out and the coming in is everything that living really means within. The boat will go again at 3 tomorrow before lighting. But first there is the landing and the warmth of tonight. Fisherman's return, the whole shore stands and waits. Fisherman's return, and what the sea creates. Fisherman's return, every catch is grace. Fisherman's return, coming to the place. I didn't notice them until they were the hands of an older woman. When did the smooths become the mapped, and when did the veins come in? Those are the hands that plait in my hair at 5 in the morning dark, that stitched the hem back on my skirt before the school day could start. Mama's hands in everything I touch. Mama's hands, they've done so much. Mama's hands, I learned to give. Mama's hands are how I live. An inch of like a lotus stem, like an upstilled nose, hands peel 1,000 yams and wrung 1,000 cloths. Chased away the roosters and swatted every moth. Held my father's hand at the end when words had gone to sleep, and smoothed my forehead when the fever ran too deep. I hold my own hand sometimes and I search for what she gave. The way the love moves through the fingers is not something you can say. Mama's hands in everything I touch. Mama's hands, they've done so much. Mama's hands, I learned to give. Mama's hands are how I live. She never said the word, she only showed the way. A certain kind of love is in the doing of the day. No monument was raised for all that work and care, but we became the monument and she is always there. Mama's hands in everything I touch. Mama's hands, they've done so much. Mama's hands, I learned to give. Mama's hands are how I live. 4 o'clock the bell rings and the whole yard explodes. 40 children pour into the afternoon's dusty roads. The uniforms go scattered like a flag that's coming down. And for 1 hour everything is possible in this small town. Schoolbell Afternoon, the world opens wide. Schoolbell Afternoon, leave the books inside. Schoolbell Afternoon, run before the sun sets red. Schoolbell Afternoon, all the best is up ahead. We had a spot behind the hardware store where nobody would look. 3 of us with mango we had taken from old Mr. Cook. We never spent $1 on those afternoons we made. The whole of our invention was the hours and the shade. Now the joy of it sits in me like before. Schoolbell afternoon, the world opens wide. Schoolbell afternoon, leave the books inside. Schoolbell afternoon, run before the sun sets red. Schoolbell afternoon, all the best is up ahead. Nobody tells you that those hours have a number. Nobody counts them while you run through them like thunder. When the last one goes, you don't even know the day, until you're older and you find the afternoon has gone away. Schoolbell afternoon, the world opens wide. Schoolbell afternoon, leave the books inside. Schoolbell afternoon, run before the sun sets red. Schoolbell afternoon, all the best is up ahead. Sunday afternoon market is half packed and winding down. Vendors getting soft on price, cause they don't wanna cart it round. The best deals come at 3 when the morning rush is cleared, and the man with the sweet potatoes drops his price as evening nears. Sunday afternoon market, taking its sweet time. Sunday afternoon market, everything is fine. Sunday afternoon market, last chance of the week. Sunday afternoon market, everything you see. A woman set her daughter up with her own small table there, supervised her selling from a distance with a watchful care. The girl was maybe 9 and she was serious about the change, counting coins with concentration that was out of range. That is how it passes down the knowledge of the trade, not in any school but in the market the day made. Sunday afternoon market, taking its sweet time. Sunday afternoon market, everything is fine. Sunday afternoon market, last chance of the week. Sunday afternoon market, everything you seek. 5 for the stalls are folding and the square begins to breathe, and the town returns to Sunday and the quiet underneath. But the market left its traces on the air and on the stone, and in the people who came hungry and went home. Sunday afternoon market, taking its sweet time. Sunday afternoon market, everything is fine. Sunday afternoon market, last chance of the week. Sunday afternoon market, everything you seek. Brothers and 1 basin to wash our faces in the dawn. 3 brothers and 1 bicycle, and whoever woke up first was gone. 3 brothers sleeping in the same room with our different kinds of dreams. My mother said we were 1 heart that walked around in Triple C. 3 brothers down the road and through the years. 3 brothers through the laughter and the tears. 3 brothers, different roads from the same yard. 3 brothers, the same bone, the same shore. Marcus went to study in the city and never quite came back. Andre stayed and worked the land and never lost the track. I went somewhere in between and never fully fit. All 3 of us became exactly what we didn't blend together. Christmas still brings everyone to Mama's table set, and we argue and we laugh and none of us regret. 3 brothers down the road and through the years. Three brothers through the laughter and the tears. Three brothers, different roads from the same yard. Three brothers, the same bone, the same shard. You don't choose your brothers, but you choose what you do with them. You can hold them close or let the distance swallow them. He chose the former EJ, though he never said it out. Three brothers keep each other without a shadow of a doubt. Three brothers down the road and through the years. Three brothers through the laughter and the tears. Three brothers, different roads from the same yard. Three brothers, the same bone, the same shard. Brothers, the same. She planted it the year that I was born, so I was told. Red flowers on a fence of green that never seemed to grow old. Mama said the hibiscus doesn't ask for much to thrive. Just water and a little room and reasons to be alive. Hibiscus fence in the front yard, standing bright. Hibiscus fence, yes, in the afternoon light. Hibiscus fence all the seasons through. Hibiscus fence, I keep thinking of you. When she passed, we didn't know who tended through the year. My father took the water and kept the habit clear. He'd never gardened once before in all the time I knew. But every evening at 6 o'clock he went out there and threw something in the keeping of the flowers that she grew. Made it feel like she was still around, and that was true. Hibiscus fence in the front yard, standing bright. Hibiscus fence, it's in the afternoon light. Hibiscus fence all the seasons through. Hibiscus fence, I keep thinking of you. Grief takes root in flowers in the strangest place, and a watering can in a pair of weathered hands in her face. A fence of red hibiscus is a kind of prayer. Tended every evening, she was still right there. Hibiscus fence in the front yard, standing bright. Hibiscus fence in the afternoon light. Hibiscus fence all the seasons through. Hibiscus fence, I keep thinking of you. The clock in the square has been slow since 70 Condors Eve. Nobody fixed it, and nobody crossed the line to say it ought to go. 'Cause we'd all grown used to it being behind, like a whole town agreed to live in a slightly different time. Old town clock running 20 minutes slow. Old town clock knowing what we know. Old town clock striking out a phase. Old town clock measuring our days. The poor and seal were always loosely held from the start. 11 meant 11 be attained in the town heart. The clock gave us permission to be human about the hours, and the people who came from the city couldn't believe our powers. My cousin visited from overseas and stood there in the square. Said, how do you all function? And I said with care. Old town clock running 20 minutes slow. Old town clock knowing what we know. Old town clock striking out a phase. Old town clock measuring our days. One man tried to fix it in the year of the election. They all voted him out in the very next election. Don't touch what works in its own particular way. Slow time is still time, and we like it this way. Old town clock running 20 minutes slow. Old town clock knowing what we know. Old town clock striking out a phase. Old town clock measuring our days. Ho, ho! The tamarind tree drops its paws in the dry heat of March, and the children come with stones and aim with careful art. Brown shells hitting pavement and the seeds fall out to chase. And for 2 weeks the streets smell sweet and sharp in every place. In tamarind season, come again to the yard. Tamarind season, nothing about life is hard. In tamarind season, sour on the tongue and sweet. In tamarind season, best thing on the street. Meet Glints the grabbing balls in her back room. She sells them wrapped in wax paper and the whole block meets its doom. Her recipe is 40 years of patience and of knowing exactly how much sugar it takes to stop the sour from showing. I bought one on a Tuesday and I stood there in the road and tasted something I had lost and something I was owed. Tamarind season, come again to the yard. Tamarind season, nothing about life is hard. In tamarind season, sour on the tongue and sweet. In tamarind season, best thing on the street. Some flavors are a doorway to a year that's long been shut, and the tamarind unlocks it with a particular gut. That pucker and sweetness hitting all at once is true. The taste of being small again and everything being new. In tamarind season, come again to the yard. In tamarind season, nothing about life is hard. In tamarind season, sour on the tongue and sweet. In tamarind season, best thing on the street. They grew up through the iron gate and nobody removed it. The congregations argued once about it and then approved it. Now it's roots of lifting, free of the old stones in the path. And the deacon says it's the land's own way, they're having the last laugh. Churchyard fig tree, doing what you do. Churchyard fig tree, nobody taught you. Churchyard fig tree, older than the steeple. Churchyard fig tree, outlasting all the people. Rubbing to Clickett's children. Children play around his base on Sunday after service, while the elders shake their hands with all the proper purpose. It provides the shade for the reception table spread outside, where the rice and peas and chicken sit with dignity and pride. Lovers have carved their names into its bark for 30 years, and the tree has held all those small declarations and the tears. Churchyard fig tree, doing what you do. Churchyard fig tree, nobody taught you. Churchyard fig tree, older than the steeple. Churchyard fig tree, outlasting all the people. There's a kind of wisdom in a thing that simply grows, that doesn't ask permission, and that everyone just knows. The tree was there when all of us arrived, and we'll be there long after we have tried it. Churchyard fig tree, doing what you do. Churchyard fig tree, nobody taught you. Churchyard fig tree, older than the steeple. Churchyard fig tree, outlasting all the people. Bubble and fruity eye. Every Christmas someone carried out the table from inside and set it in the yard beneath the breadfruit tree with pride. Three tables pushed together with a cloth across the joint, and every person in the family came to come and combine. The long table set out in the yard. The long table, nothing about it hard. The long table, all of us together. The long table through the changing weather. In Savlunka, Roy would always start an argument by two about something from the previous year that he had carried through. And Auntie Clive would laugh so hard her teeth came partly out. And the children underneath the table knew what it was about. This is the university that nobody charged a fee. The long table education of the family. The long table set out in the yard. Oh, the long table, nothing about it hard. The long table, all of us together. Oh, the long table through the changing weather. And now the children are the parents bringing their own along. And the uncle who would argue is the one who sings the song. The table keeps on stretching down the generations wide. The Christmas yard, the laughter and the bread for a tree inside. Woo! The long table set out in the yard. Whoa! The long table, nothing about it hard. The long table, all of us together. Whoa! The long table through the changing weather. Hey! 6 floors up above the street, I planted what I could. A bucket full of basil and a board of driftwood. The pigeons come to check on me around 11 every day. Now I talk to them like neighbors in the old familiar way. Nobody told me rooftops were for growing things up here, but the tomatoes don't care about the address they appear. Rooftop garden, growing in the concrete and the gray. Rooftop garden, finding water, finding way. Rooftop garden, stubborn like the people down below. Rooftop garden, watch the smallest green things grow. My neighbor from apartment 9 came up and stood to see. She brought her coffee and she didn't say a word to me. Just walked the rows of peppers and she touched each leaf so slow, like she was reading something that the plants alone could show. By now there are 4 of us who come up here to tend. The rooftop is the place where strangers turn to friends. Rooftop garden, growing in the concrete and the gray. Rooftop garden, finding water, finding way. Rooftop garden, stubborn like the people down below. Rooftop garden, watch the smallest green things grow. You can take the person off the land, but you can't take the land out of the hand. Give us soil and we will always find a way to go and leave the lost behind. Rooftop garden, growing in the concrete and the gray. Rooftop garden, finding water, finding way. Rooftop garden, stubborn like the people down below. Rooftop garden, watch the smallest green things grow. Oh, oh. 2 rocking chairs on the veranda, since before I could remember. Side by side through hurricane season through December. One went empty in the autumn of the year I turned 16. And the other kept on rocking like it needed to be seen. 2 rocking chairs, one is still. 2 rocking chairs on the hill. 2 rocking chairs, morning come. 2 rocking chairs, just the one. Falling stiff, just the one. My grandfather would sit for hours after she was gone. He'd rock and watch the road and hum a hymn and carry on. I'd bring him tea and he would take it without looking at my face. His eyes were always somewhere at the far end of that space. I used to think he was just old and slow and going through but now I understand the rocking was the thing he could still do. Two rocking chairs, one is still. Two rocking chairs on the hill. Two rocking chairs, morning come. Two rocking chairs, just the one. 60 years inside, one life together on that porch. The rocking chair beside him was a kind of burning torch. He kept it there and never moved it, not a single inch. Some absences become a presence that you cannot flinch. Two rocking chairs, one is still. Two rocking chairs on the hill. Two rocking chairs, morning come. Two rocking chairs, just the one. And standing at the end of the pier, when the last boat comes in, the harbor lights reflected in the water like twin. Every color doubled underneath the dark quiet sea, and the whole world held between the lights and what I cannot see. Harbor lights leading every vessel home. Harbor lights so no one has to roam. Harbor lights burning through the night. Harbor lights, the constant and the right. Be somebody's harbor lights, a flag train free. The Coast Guard station at the point has kept the light since 40. Fled to lane through the worst of every hurricane and every war. The man who keeps it said his job is just to make sure it stays on. That simple act of keeping the light through all the long. Save ships he'd never meet, the lives he'd never known. He did it every night so everyone could go. Harbor lights leading every vessel home. Harbor lights so no one has to roam. Harbor lights burning through the night. Harbor lights, the constant and the right. Be somebody's harbor light in what you do. Keep the flame on for the ones who coming through. You might not see the ships that find their way by your flame, but the keeping of the light is worthy all the same. Harbor lights leading every vessel home. Harbor lights so no one has to roam. Harbor lights burning through the night. Harbor lights, the constant and the right. Every village has the one whose job it is to know the names of who came first and where the old ones used to go. And Merle was ours, and she was 90 lead pan and clear. Every name and date and boundary going back 100 years. Oh. Keeper of stories, don't let the old ones die. Keeper of stories, hold them up high. Keeper of stories, carry us through. Keeper of stories, we are in you. When the honest of Glacier tell the story of the flood of 40's hearts were plain. How the whole district walked to higher ground in the rain. Her mother carried a box of papers on her head. Everything that proved that something mattered and what was said. Before her time they held it all in memory and in song. And common keeping of those things is how a people stay strong. Keeper of stories, don't let the old ones die. Keeper of stories, hold them up high. Keeper of stories, carry us through. Keeper of stories, we are in you. When Emerald passed, they sat and wrote for 3 days straight. Everything they could remember before it was too late. That is how you honor someone who has been the keeper. You become the next one and you hold it even deeper. Our stories, don't let the old ones die. Keeper of stories, hold them up high. Keeper of stories, carry us through. Keeper of stories, we are in you. Oh. Coming morning, the valley fills with white from wall to wall. You can't see the road below, you can't see much at all. The houses disappear into it one by two, and the whole world becomes a small soft radius of view. Mist in the valley, covering the ground. Mist in the valley, swallowing the sound. Mist in the valley, quiet and serene. Mist in the valley, all things in between. My father used to say the mist was the land still dreaming, that the valley was asleep and still believing in some older version of itself before the roads came through, before the telephone poles and the wire and the view. By 10 o'clock the sun has pulled it all apart, but for those 2 hours the valley holds a gentle heart. Mist in the valley, covering the ground. Mist in the valley, swallowing the sound. Mist in the valley, quiet and serene. Mist in the valley, all things in between. Walk into the mist alone and see what it does to you. Every worry gets a little softer in that blue. The white erases distance and makes the clothes feel vast. The temporary beauty that is over far too fast. Mist in the valley, covering the ground. Mist in the valley, swallowing the sound. Mist in the valley, quiet and serene. Mist in the valley, all things in between. My father took me walking on the ridge when I was 10. Said this land belonged to us and we must know it again. Put your foot on every piece so that the earth knows your name. And when you come back as an old man, it will feel the same. Walking the ridge in the early light. Walking the ridge till the land feels right. Walking the ridge, what the forefathers knew. Walking the ridge, this is all of you. The instant action you could see 4 villages from the highest point up there, and the harbor in the distance and the blue beyond compare. He pointed out the boundary trees his father had marked down. Said the land remembers where the lines are even. Without the brown I didn't understand it then, the way that land means family. But now I find myself returning to that ridge instinctively. Walking the ridge in the early light. Walking the ridge till the land feels right. Walking the ridge, what the forefathers knew. Walking the ridge, this is all of you. Every generation needs to learn the shape of what they hold, not just in the papers but by walking in the cold. Wet grass and morning air and the body knowing this is the inheritance and this is how it's growing. Walking the ridge in the early light, walking the ridge till the land feels right. Walking the ridge, what the forefathers knew. Walking the ridge, this is all of you. The last bus leaves the terminal at 9:15. The driver knows the road so well he doesn't watch the line. And passengers are sleeping and the radio plays low. And the dark outside moves past us like somewhere we used to go. Bus ride home through the parishes and the hills. Bus ride home through the quiet and the stills. Bus ride home, and every corner has a name. Bus ride home, nothing ever feels the same. Boot and beans to flip. The woman in the front seat has a chicken on her lap, wrapped in cloth and breathing easy, taking its nap. At every stop somebody squeezes out into the black and waves to us like waving is a thing they won't hold back. I've ridden this route 40 times and still I look outside for the landmarks that remind me what it means to make this ride. Bus ride home through the parishes and the hills. Bus ride home through the quiet and the stills. Bus ride home, and every corner has a name. Bus ride home, nothing ever feels the same. The conductor calls the stops out, even when it's just for one. Even in the dark of midnight, everyone matters under the sun. Nobody walks the last part in the rain alone. That's the unwritten rule of how we get folks home. Bus ride home through the parishes and the hills. Bus ride home through the quiet and the stills. Bus ride home, and every corner has a name. Bus ride home, nothing ever feels the same. Weeks without a drop, and the ground cracked at the seams. The river running low and the valley less than it seems. The cattle all standing still under the only tree for shade, and the whole parish looking at the sky that we have made. Dry season prayer, send the clouds our way. Dry season prayer, we have no more to say. Dry season prayer, we trust the rain will come. Dry season prayer, we wait for what was done. Old Farmer Davis walked his field and didn't speak a word. He bent and touched the earth the way you touch a man who's hurt. He's done this 40 years and watched the seasons hold and break. And every single year he plants again for what it takes. The children brought water in buckets to the seedlings row by row. Something by the child and a bucket and a seed in the ground below. Dry season prayer, send the clouds our way. Dry season prayer, we have no more to say. Dry season prayer, we trust the rain will come. Dry season prayer, we wait for what was done. The worst thing about a drought is the waiting and the not knowing. The best thing about the rain is how it comes without showing. No announcement, just a smell before the first drop falls. And then the earth remembers who it is and answers all the calls. Dry season prayer, send the clouds our way. Dry season prayer, we have no more to say. Dry season prayer, we trust the rain will come. Dry season prayer, we wait for what was done. smell it coming from the east, and now before it drops, the air changes and the lizards scatter and the bird song stops. And then the first bed drops, come slow and separate town and large, like the rain is feeling out the land before it takes charge. First rain of May, everything wakes up. First rain of May, filling every cup. First rain of May, smell of earth and star. First rain of May, beating like a heart. The breadfruit leaves collect the rain in cups above the path. The children strip their uniforms and stand in it like a bath. Old men lean out on the veranda just enough to wet their face. And my grandmother put a pot outside to catch it, just in case. The dry months make you grateful for what water means to thrive. And the first rain of May reminds you that the land is still alive. First rain of May, everything wakes up. First rain of May, filling every cup. First rain of May, smell of earth and star. First rain of May, beating like a heart. There's a version of renewal that no temple can replicate, that happens in a yard when the dry season breaks its way. Stand outside and lift your face and let it find you clean. That's the oldest ceremony there has ever been. First rain of May, everything wakes up. First rain of May, filling every cup. First rain of May, smell of earth and star. First rain of May, beating like a heart. The chair still sits beside the window where it always sat. She'd watch the gate from morn until the sun made everything flat. Every grandchild coming up the road could see her there. Every visitor was greeted from the throne of that chair. Grandmother's chair still holding the shape. Grandmother's chair nobody can take. Grandmother's chair all the years in the wood. Grandmother's chair doing what it could. Yeah. Oh, grandmother's chair. I sat in it once after she passed and felt immediately wrong, like I had put on something that didn't belong. Not mine to wear that seat beside that particular light, where she had watched for all of us for 40 years of nights. I stood up quickly and I said I'm sorry out of habit to the air. And then I felt her laughing and I sat back in that chair. Grandmother's chair still holding the shape. Grandmother's chair nobody can take. Grandmother's chair all the years in the wood. Grandmother's chair doing what it could. Whoa, whoa, yeah. Oh, whoa. We keep the chair because the chair keeps her. Everything she watched from it we still prefer. To know she had a window and a view and a place to be where she could see us coming from a long way before we could see. Whoa! Grandmother's chair still holding the shape. Grandmother's chair nobody can take. Grandmother's chair all the years in the wood. Grandmother's chair